I'm just taking a little break. I really wish that I even liked my job. Even if I didn't love it, I wish I liked it. I liked AP more. Day to day, week to week, month to month, expectation based, even when it comes to like being in management. Being in management, it's even worth the headache and strife. But I'm making more money in an entry level band 1 position than I was as management band 2. Damn near $20,000 more. Now that's a giant jump. But realistically, management role AP, maybe they're getting paid the same as me. Probably less. Probably about like $5,000 less on average. I liked AP more, but I have to swallow my pride. And what's happening? I don't even think it's pride. I don't even think it's pride, honestly. I think it's just maybe a little bit of integrity. Maybe just a little bit of integrity. I'm talking about on a scale of 1 to 100, like a 7. Like, I'll never make it far. I have to break out. I have to break out. I have to break out. But I ain't even 30 yet. I got time. I got time to fucking figure it out. But I have to figure it out and I have to break out. I will not make it in this world. I won't. Primarily because I won't sacrifice my integrity. Because I just can't with these white folks. I am in a different world. And I never, it's like dewy-eyed me wanted to be a part of it, but I wanted to be a part of it whenever I was at a HBCU and everyone else looked like me, and even past looking like me. I didn't have to fight these battles. Like, let me zero back in on the point. I have to swallow a little bit of my integrity, about 7 to a 100 scale type level, like barely. But a little bit I have to bend to just at least make it, and I have to power through every day. I have to power through every week, and I have to get this job done that I hate doing. Like, I really hate the job itself. Like, not only do I hate the shucking and jiving, I hate the job. And I have to swallow it, learn how to deal with it, compartmentalize it, not let it like affect me and drag me down. So, because if I'm being entirely honest, it affects me and it drags me down. So that I can be better, so that I can chase greatness. Like, I need to learn how to not let it affect me so that I can chase that greatness. But like, I need to let it not affect me because I'm not going back to AP. As much as I like AP, I got bills. I have priorities. And I also happen to have some goals. And if we want to be a little bit extra, we can sprinkle on top a flurry of dreams. AP's not going to cut it. It was never going to cut it. Not with my student debt. Not with my 2 degrees in finance. AP was never going to cut it. Sallie Mae made sure of that. So, this turned into a rant I didn't know it was going to be. But if I had to give you a summary of my life, I can't wait to give you a Bali Marco Polo, give you some updates, girl. Oh my gosh! Our trips are coming up. Ugh. Yours will be here before you know it. You're going to blink and it's going to be here. I was social this weekend. Very social. I had fun. I can give you updates on that. I guess I should give you updates on that. It'll be a different polo. I'm about to get off polo at this point. You know, I did my mom's hair. Saved the day. She had a bad hair experience, unfortunately, but I was able to fix it. And, you know, I watched Game of Thrones and I listened to a podcast, and I haven't been reading as much as I should. And I am good. I'm good. But as much as I want to be, not even at 100%, because no one will ever be like 100% perfectly happy, all things great, right? Nah. Like, let's be real generous. Like, I can't be like that true 80% living my truth. Like, living genuine, like, happiness. And then also, like, my physical health and, like, my sleeping, my eating. At least I'm staying active 3 times a week. But, like, physically, I'm a wreck. So that part of it, like, I can't reach that point because the work is weighing me down so much. Like, I'm probably at, like, instead of being at an 80%, I'm probably, like, surfing around, you know, a 65. And on good days, when I'm really dedicated, I can push myself up to that 70. Maybe even touch 75. But it's fleeting and it doesn't last. Because before you know it, it's Monday. And I have to do this job that I hate. Isis, you gonna torture yourself? For the money? Yeah. You know my out investing and how I get to the final goal of my out as far as investing goes. That's a thing, and it's kind of unfortunately on like this hiatus that I'm itching to get back to, but it's fine. It's on a hiatus. But as far as like this job that I hate, like, I really just want to survive at this place and not get fired. I don't need y'all to like me. I really don't. I don't really give a shit. You do, because I'm a likable person. And I know how to be work ISIS. But, like, I'm just trying to fly under the radar. Exist and not get fired. And in the process, learn how to not let this job weigh me down so much, right? And then be able to pivot into a band 2 or a band 3 role. Honestly, I don't really want a band 3 role, a band 2 role. But a senior financial analyst role with, I'm talking 6 figures. That's it. Not a penny less than $999,999. I'll take 999,999. I should have fuck would. I don't want it. Actually, if I'm being entirely honest, it'd be real dope if I can get around the 110 mark. I'll tell you, I'm at 73, which should be a livable wage, but between inflation, rent, and Sallie Mae, I'm just making it by. Just barely making it by. It's a lot to do with Sallie Mae. 110, that'd be nice. And suffer through a 40-hour-a-week job that I kind of hate while I build up my investment portfolio and have a salary that actually affords me to live. That's all. I just need a side hustle to pay my bills. That's why I'm sticking to it. Because when you think grand picture, when you think holistically of the many different facets it's going to take to achieve this goal of mine, having a side hustle that adequately covers my expenses, that I can deal with on the side, even though it's my 9 to 5. That's what I need. And I can't do that with AP. I have to be like upper management. I might be overworked. It's going to be very time consuming. And you know what? I could do it, but I'm going to have to work twice as hard. And I'd rather work twice as hard at the investing piece of it all and the self-development and, you know, personal shit. I'd rather work twice as hard there than work twice as hard at my job. I'm trying to minimize my job's impact. And for the most part, I can do this job. Kinda. I'm teaching myself new shit every other week. My training was just significant enough to get me over the bar. But surprise, 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 my collegiate education is not really helping me in this role. Like, I got my master's in finance and investing. I'm not working at Charles Schwab, Edward Young, Merrill Lynch. I'm working at a corporation. I didn't major in corporate finance. The last corporate finance that I really got was a decade ago. And while I got it, let's be real, it was pretty basic. And then the added layer of being stuck at an insurance company of all places. Honestly, I feel like if I was at a tech company, I'd be thriving. Or if I was at, you know, I don't know, maybe Kroger's financial analyst or something. It doesn't really give a shit. Insurance and healthcare are probably two very dangerous places for me to exist, because it's not just money that I have to deal with. It's this insurance world that goes right over my head. It's like having to get a whole nother degree. A degree I'm not interested in. Like, damn, at least if I had to work this hard, let me be in healthcare. Because I feel like healthcare would be another field if I was like a financial analyst at, you know, Piedmont Healthcare. There'd be healthcare regulations impeding my job, right? But like, they didn't give me that collegiately. And I should be able to rely on my team. But the big white man rah-rah energy, along with the boys club, along with just this isolation that I feel, that's not even intentional from them. I don't think they realize they do it. It's a lot of assumptions put on my capability, and it's not through oh, we're just so confident in your capabilities lens. It's a black women work 5 times as hard in the workplace and they just figure it out because they're strong. Like, going into that. I was listening to this video essay and he was talking about black men in sports and how they fall into this black buck energy, and how they, to be most black men, particularly in the football lane, they around, at least around the college years, where they become comfortable to a degree of being bucked, like shuck and drive for me, nigga, and stay in your place, and and I look at Saudi, and I think I've pinpointed what it is about Saudi, because I respect him. He's very smart. He live his black life. He mind his black business. But it's always been something. And it's not necessarily, because I can spot a coon. I can most definitely spot a coon. And I can even spot, a black man kissing a white man's ass to his advantage. But, it's not that type of energy. But it's always been something. But quite literally, I feel like Saudi has learned to been bucked. And he a big black man, too. He knows how to play appropriately around the white men crowd that he honestly had a lot of experience with. He's from Africa. He went to private school in London. What is there for black women to do? First of all, I ain't trying to be bucked. That's part of the fucking issue. Now, also that video essay was about the Herschel Walkers, which to the extreme, the OJs to the extreme, or even just a Shannon Sharpe or Stephen A. Or you got that problem football kid that basically kept getting in trouble, but he was just he kept getting in trouble because he wouldn't kiss that white man's ass. Anyway, I believe it. I do believe it. Anyways, the whole spectrum of it. I feel like Saudi falls in the range, just when we were talking about compromising integrity on the scale of 100. I feel like he compromises integrity on a scale of 35. Just enough. Just enough. But also because he's a man, the bar is just a little bit lower for him to clear. Also because, he's an affluent South African who went to, London, boarding school and college in America, and is extraordinarily well-traveled and, I will assume, well-connected. While he got a buck a little bit, he gets some freedom. Then there's me. I'm not gonna make it far. I'm not gonna make it far. I'm just not. Some. I ain't been giving you work updates. I'm giving you one now because this don't turn into a long ass polo. I think I just need to decompress because I'm actually really feeling it. I feel it every Monday. I feel it on Tuesdays. I feel it randomly on a Thursday. It's not healthy. This is the most unhealthy portion of my life. Therapy session. What's going on with you, ISIS? Much of the same. Hashtag thriving. However, asterisk, parentheses. Work. I'm a mess. I'm a fucking mess. I'll figure it out. And if you can't tell, it mostly manifests in just this exhaustion, it manifests in like this paralyzing anxiety that's like, I feel like a trauma response for me, like a trigger for me to run away from what I don't want to do. A lot of anxiety wrapped up in it. Like, in a lot of ways, it's a very physical reaction. It's a very heavy reaction. If I was in a weaker place, it would perpetuate depression. And I also feel like it feels so heavy because every other aspect of my life right now, ironically, is so light. It's really aggressive. And each aggressive swing, it's hard to manage. It's hard to manage. Like, and then you know I'm chemically imbalanced. Whatever the hell I got. I've been diagnosed with ADHD. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I have been diagnosed with, bipolar depression. I've been diagnosed with anxiety. And honestly, all of that recently, to an extent, and I'm not like harping on it, and whatever it is at this point in my life, it really doesn't matter. I just have to learn how to manage it. And chasing diagnostics is expensive, and it'll probably land me on medication, which I know I don't like anyway, so fuck it. I just gotta figure it out, right? But lately I've been wondering, am I to a degree neurodivergent? And that's not me saying, oh, I think I'm autistic. But autism is a scale, right? And while I may not be like presenting autistic, all of that, we go through all of these diagnoses I've gotten from childhood to which way the last one was, and all the shit I've been through, and all the medications they done doped me up on in the past, and just how I function and what I do know of myself with a little bit more insight. And even thinking of my father, who may actually be a bit autistic. That's a self-diagnosis, and I ain't no doctor, but think about it. I'd say where it is important, when I reproduce, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on my children. And the soonest orange flag, it don't even got to be a red flag, the soonest orange flag, I'm taking you to a autism specialist, and I want you to evaluate my child directly. I'm skipping all other avenues. This is where we're starting. I will give you familial history, and I want you to observe my child. If this doesn't pan out, the next step is ADHD. Okay? But force whatever health care I got to mess with in this country to acknowledge my child. And because I also want to say this isn't like a slight against my mother. Like, my mother worked with the prospect she had in front of her, and quite frankly, they were just trying to slap me with ADHD and put me on drugs, and my mother refused to put me on drugs then, which I agree with. However, I think that's where, if she just didn't have the knowledge to try again. Like, even if it was try again with another ADHD specialist, and also I was very smart. They weren't challenging me. Like, I was a bit disrespectful because I was too smart. Like, it was just a lot going on, right? I didn't know a child's place because adults are stupid. Like, my life, right? I don't even think my mother considered autism, because I don't think I'm necessarily autistic. But that neurodiversion, yeah, I think it might be a thing. I don't know how we got here. Me ranting about work. Oh, just how, yeah, that's how we got here. That's how we got here. The swings are aggressive. It's a bit hard to manage. It feels like flashes of depression, and I have to remind myself, but you are not depressed. You were really the furthest thing from it. Praise the Lord. But you cannot handle like this job. And I think that this issue is compounded by whatever is going on with me, whether it's bipolar, whether it's ADHD, whether it's neurodivergency, whether it's any of the other ones in between. There's something chemically happening that I'm also fighting. It's like all I've done right now is identify the trigger, which is this job. I've identified what triggers the triggers, and I have made the conscious choice that I'm gonna stay for the money, for the side hustle freedom to chase the other dreams. Logically, it all makes sense. Emotionally and physically, I'm a mess. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I actually probably should have recorded that and uploaded it as a private entry for Living Single Diaries. Fuck it, these are my private entries. I could technically download this polo, put it on my computer, upload it into Premiere Pro, yeah. I don't even have to re-record it. I think I really should upload it as a private entry. And it don't gotta look cute because it's a private entry. No one's gonna see it. Except for me. Like, that's the whole point of my private entry. Or maybe I actually get a decent therapist down the line and I can just send you a playlist. Okay. Bye. I'm gonna save this video. Okay, Google. Set an alarm for 4:15.
Your alarm set for 4:15 p.m.
If I haven't saved this video and backed it up to my computer by 4:15, that alarm will go off and I'll be like, oh yeah, I did say I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna do it. Marco.